Couldn't think of a goofy intro this week. That's all. Oh, what's up? I'm Pete Last Guy, and this is Raw Emotion, where I take a look at this week's Monday Night Raw, and I tell you a little bit about what I think and a lot about how I feel. Here we go. While I wasn't super happy that Roman Reigns won his match at Clash of Champions, I just love seeing him and Rusev fight. I do. Let's keep this feud going. I'm really liking it. I am. These two men are built to fight each other. It's right, is what it is. And here's the thing, dream booking, alright? If this feud does not end in a double turn, then something is wrong with this world. Would that not be fantastic? Rusev going full babyface, just maybe for a little bit of time. It doesn't have to be for too long, but I would love seeing babyface Rusev face off against full heel Roman. I mean, he's honestly pretty much already the heel in this scenario anyway, but I've spoken at length about that already. I'm not going to waste your time with it again. But still. There was a tag team match this week, and a lot of people feel like the club is kind of getting buried with the booking that they're getting right now, but honestly, I'm still a little bit optimistic. I'm still kind of hopeful, because recently, in these last two matches we've seen them on, this week at Raw and on Clash of Champions on Sunday, they've looked like absolute monsters. They're powerful, they're aggressive, they're choke slamming suckers left and right. Sure, they're losing, but they still look physically strong. So maybe there's a future there. I sure hope so. They're too good to waste, man. They're too good to bury. Let's not do that. And after months and months of never mentioning that the New Day has not held the record yet for longest tag team title reign, finally this week, suddenly Demolition exists, I guess, and Michael Cole is bringing them up and talking about how their title reign was still longer than New Day's, and so no, they don't actually hold the record anymore, even after we've been saying over and over again how they hold the record now. They don't. They don't. And we're just supposed to forget that you were claiming that they did? Yeah, no. I'm on to you, Cole. I'm on to you. But that match took a bit of a surprising turn, a turn that, again, made Anderson and Gallows look pretty strong, even though it happened right before they lost. Kofi dives in to break up a pin, and I guess in doing so, just opens up his face. I mean, if I'm thinking of tag teams that are gonna bleed hard way or at all, I'm not thinking New Day, so I was kind of shocked for a second. I saw some on like Gallows' back. I was like, who is that coming from? And then Kofi comes into frame again, just ha. And then after the match is over, he's just sitting there, face covered in blood, just cackling like a madman. I was concerned. I don't know if that was supposed to be like whimsical, like, oh, I'm just laughing it off. But it looked more like, wasn't ready for that. Not from Kofi. There was a squash-ish match this week, but not from the people we're used to. There was no Braun Strowman, there was no Nia Jax, Bo Dallas was nowhere to be found. Now this time it was Bayley who came out, and I'm thinking when I see her come out, like, okay, she definitely needs to win this match, whoever it's against. I don't know, there's been no announcement, so whoever it is, she has to win this, because she hasn't won for a while. And then I see the face of whatever that Kristen Wiig looking jobber was, I'm like, oh, okay, she'll be fine. But yeah, it's a weird match. Is this just how they, is this their go-to now, to just make superstars look stronger and make them look like they have more of a shot, is just to throw some anonymous jobber in there? Which, I mean, sure, that's cool, because you're getting, you know, some exposure for these small timers, but it's a little weird from a storytelling perspective, I think. It seems lazy, personally, but I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I wasn't a fan. It was weird. I didn't like it. But you know what I do like? Cruiserweights, baby. That's right, it's time for Cruiserweight Corner, a segment of the show where no, this isn't a segment. This is the part where I talk about the Cruiserweights. Drew Gulak, somebody who I was super familiar with, came out wearing what appeared to be a kimono. Okay. And he teamed with Lince Dorado against Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander in a Cruiserweight tag team match, the first that we've seen on Raw, featuring the new Cruiserweight division, and I liked it. Of course I liked it. These guys are all great. Later on in the evening, we got a match between the current Cruiserweight champion and Tony Nese, who you will again remember from the Cruiserweight Classic Tournament if you watched that. And between these two matches, you know, from Swan and Lince countering each other's Hurricane Ranas with those crazy little handspring counters, to Nese just stopping TJP halfway through what was going to be a devastating DDT. There were more sick spots in these matches than a Dalmatian with mange. I'm so loving this Cruiserweight thing, and it seems like, though, that the crowd isn't nearly as into it as I am. And I understand that to a certain extent, you know, I get that these are all still brand new characters, so it's going to take a little time for them to be built up as these viable characters that the crowd can really get invested in. But I do think they've been doing a really good job of the early build for these characters. You know, they've got these little video packages they put together for all of them that they play as they introduce them, and they're succinct. They tell you what you need to know. They let you get a little taste of what the character is like. Throw in a little sampling of the wrestling style. I think that's a good way to just kind of start you off with, here's what this guy's about. Now watch him wrestle. This new Cruiserweight division is still in its infancy, and I'm very excited to see what happens as it grows and matures, and see how the crowd interacts with it, how they interact with maybe other wrestlers outside of the Cruiserweight division. I love that they go full on with the decoration, changing out for the purple ropes and the purple everything else. I really like it. I love the belt. I love everything about this. Let's keep this going. Ooh, I'm optimistic. I really am. Now let's talk about Cesaro and Sheamus. Honestly, for me, this is one of my favorite underrated storylines on Raw right now. I really love this. The Best of 7 series was fantastic. You can argue about whether or not they should have ended it on that no contest at Clash of Champions. A lot of people were upset with that. I was for a minute. But after Raw this week, seeing them, you know, the dynamics of them as a tag team, I think this could be really good. I'm really digging the direction this is going. It's exciting. I'm invested. These guys are great wrestlers. Sheamus interrupting Cesaro mid-striptease was fantastic, and just, you know, getting all in front of him for the entire match, for their entrances, and this whole jobber squash thing was just an excuse to show us the chemistry. Chemistry? But show us the chemistry between these two guys and what they're going to be like as a tag team. I think this could go to a really cool place. I really, really like it. Back to another women's match. Here's the thing. I think Raw just needs to hire more women. In the lead up to Clash of Champions, I mean, I had the thought that I think a lot of people have had, in that I'm sick of seeing just these 4 women, these 4 same women in the same storyline, in the same feud over and over and over again. Sasha and Bayley, and Charlotte and Dana. Again. So I checked the roster to see who else they have that they're not using, and it's not many people. Man, Paige has whatever is happening with her. I think she's still suspended. I don't know. It's been at least like a good 30 days at this point. Summer Rae is injured. I want to say it's her neck. Nia Jax is doing her own thing, really, with Alicia Fox, so they're kind of separate, and that's good to see, but it's its own separate storyline, not part of the main women's division, and I really want to see more of that. They need to hire more ladies, I think. I don't know if they're grooming some NXT ladies to bring up there. That would be really cool, maybe to see Billie Kay or somebody else like that up here. Leave Asuka in NXT, though. She's doing wonderfully there, and I don't want to lose her in NXT. But bring up or hire some more women to fill out this roster, so it's not just the same stuff over and over again every week, man. Come on, women's wrestling, come on. Also, Charlotte, do you know what wank means? Because you called Sasha Banks Sasha Wanks, and I really don't think you know what you just said. I mean, just talk to like one British person, you know, or Sheamus. Sheamus will tell you, you probably shouldn't say that again on TV, okay? This is a no. Then we got the highlight reel segment with Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, and an almost run-in by Seth Rollins that didn't ever really happen. I kind of halfway expected him to be like, okay, I'm gonna go back up the ramp, lol JK, and run back down and do something, but I guess he really is medically not clear to compete, which, I mean, that, what was that, a gutbuster that he took at Clash of Champions? That looked a little messy when I saw it happen, but he kept going, so I was like, okay, you know, he's probably fine. He's not fine. But I am absolutely loving Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens as 2 Canadian best friends. It's my favorite. It's my favorite thing, guys. It really is. The match that came out of this segment, you know, between Enzo and Cass and Jericho, I guess was the main event. It seemed like it came out of nowhere. It sounds like I'm talking down, honestly, but this is a really good match. Obviously, I'm down for Enzo and Cass versus Jericho any day. These are some fantastic wrestlers. They're fantastic talents. They're very entertaining. I'm always down to watch that match, please. It just seemed to me like there wasn't a whole lot of reason for this match to have happened in the first place. There wasn't much build. There wasn't much of a storytelling aspect to it or behind it. And you know, that's part of the experience. And that aside, though, good match, fun to watch. Jericho went over, as they should, but I'm a little worried now because Enzo and Cass are on a losing streak. I get that they're already very big with the crowd, so you're not going to lose that pop, but be careful booking this, WWE, okay? Because you don't want to waste these guys' talent, okay? give them a win here soon. And speaking of booking, I really hope that Jericho plays out for a while before they implode, because obviously they're going to implode. That's inevitable at this point. This is wrestling. We know it's going to happen, but I hope they keep it going, because the way these guys play off of each other, they're both so witty, they're both such fantastic wrestlers, two of the greatest in the world, definitely the two top heels in Raw right now, possibly in the company. The Miz is up there, but they're definitely the top two heels in Raw. And it's just been fantastic to watch, especially with Kevin Owens being this indie superstar and Jericho being a longtime company man. They both bring a lot to the table in terms of what they can do on the mic, in the ring. It's great. Keep it up, WWE. There's been some good booking that we're seeing here. There's been some bad stuff, and just some. There's a lot of weird, especially in this episode of Raw. Just weird matches, weird booking, weird promos. But I feel optimistic. I think Raw can really push forward, and I think they can grow if they hold on to the things that are good about the new era. Things like the Cruiserweight division. Things like this Cesaro, Sheamus storyline. Things like Jericho and Seth Rollins' slow burn face turn. You can go good places. I hope you do. But that's all that I have for this week's episode of Raw Emotion. Go ahead and just leave a comment right down there telling me what you thought about this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Tell me where you hope Raw goes from here, what elements of it you like, what stuff you think they should get rid of. Discuss all of that in the comments. Give it a like, give it a share. Subscribe to the channel, because otherwise, how are you gonna know, man, when we come out with new videos? You won't, and you need to, obviously. So I will see you next week, right here on the BNB channel, on Raw Emotion. I've been Pete Laska, you have been a delight, and we are out of here in 1, 2. What's up, I'm Pete Laska, and this is Raw Emotion, where I take a look at this week's Monday Night Raw and tell you a little bit about what about 1 second. Rusev going full babyface, maybe just for a little bit of time, and then, whoa. Reading my notes. I bought these like a month ago, there's still some in here. Probably very stale. Oh, God. Oh, is cereal supposed to be chewy? That does not seem right.